Hey guys! Today's video is going to be a paranormal storytime video with my mom again. I got a lot of requests to bring my mom back. I believe towards the end of that video I asked you guys if you wanted to hear any more of her creepy stories because she has a lot of them and she agreed to come back, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And I just wanted to really quick apologize for my lack of uploads. I know that I haven't uploaded a paranormal video in I think like 2 months. It's been a long time, and if you follow me on social media, I actually told you guys about a month ago, I said I was going to upload a sleep paralysis video with Mark, and then we never got around to filming it. We have been at home for such a short period of time out of this month, so I'm gonna make up for it and be expecting 3 paranormal videos within the next 2 weeks. We're doing this one today, and then we're going to do another one later. For this paranormal storytime video, my mom had a really crazy story that happened to her when we lived at our old house, the one that I've talked about several times. And it's one of the most crazy paranormal experience stories that I've ever heard. It's so insane that I have to be completely honest with you guys. If I did not hear this story from my mom, I don't think I would believe it. It had to come from somebody that I know to be really credible, because it's so far out there that when she tells me this story, it gives me chills. She's told me this one since I was a little girl. Why did you tell me that when I was a little girl, by the way? Traumatized me.
I think I was traumatized at the time. I wouldn't think.
So when I was a little girl and I was living in that house that we lived in, I knew about this, and it always scared me like so bad. And as I grew up and I got older, I'd ask her about it and be like, did that really happen, or were you just saying that to freak me out? Because it's crazy. She wanted to tell this story a couple weeks ago, probably longer than that. Whenever we filmed the video that we filmed together a while back, which I'll link down below if you haven't seen it, she wanted to talk about that, and I just didn't know if that would be something that would be too much for you guys. So if you're somebody that is really, really skeptical of this stuff, and you already know that you're going to be negative about it and you're going to be calling, you know, bullcrap on it, please don't even watch it. But if you are somebody that has an open mind and you trust my credibility and you know that I'm always honest with you guys, then you know that I would never have anybody sit here with me and tell you guys a story that I did not trust. And this is my mom, and she's never lied to me in my entire life. So with that being said, I'm going to keep my mouth shut in 90% of this, and I'm going to let my mom take the floor and tell you guys this story.
Well, this happened when Kyla was a little girl. It's very important for me to be credible and to keep my integrity intact. I'm not a liar, because I believe I have someone higher than me that is watching what I do. And so I only tell the things, the experiences that have happened to me, because I believe that there is an unseen world that's real, and so I just tell what happened to me. This story is very scary to me to this day, because I'm not really exactly sure why it happened. I was up late at night because I had a friend that had some problems, and she would call for counsel, and so I was sitting at the dining room table, which had a patio door with a big window in it. I had the curtain opened, and it was at night. We had a chain link fence in our backyard, and behind the fence was a real huge field. And on the other side of this big field, I'd say it was about a block or more, huge.
It was like a pretty much like a swamp back there,
yeah,
with trees.
And on the other side of this field, way back in the back, was a paved road. And on the opposite side of the paved road, they had just built a big power plant for the electric company. I was sitting on the phone talking to her, and something caught my eye, and I looked across the field, and where the power plant was, I saw 2 what I thought were teenagers or people up on a scaffolding or something, because the building was 1 story.
What's a scaffolding?
It's like a wooden made plank, sort of like a plank up in the air, and they were way high. They were about 2 stories high, and they were walking back and forth, and then they would bend down. They were dressed in white. They would walk back and forth closer to me and bend down like they were working on something. And so at first I thought, well, maybe it's just somebody that's working at the power plant and they're working on something up in the air. So I was just kind of watching them, and I was talking to my friend. One of them stood up, and it looked like they were messing with electricity, and I realized that maybe these weren't people working there. And so I told my friend, I said, wow, I think there may be 2 teenagers messing around at this power plant out here, and I'm worried they're messing with electricity. And I said, I don't know exactly what they're doing. I can't tell that because, see, we were so far away that they only looked like they were about this tall.
Did you say what time of night it was or anything?
It was late. It was like after midnight, I think. You were asleep. Kim was asleep. Your dad was asleep. So anyway, I'm talking to her, and she had a 2-way phone, and I told her, I think this must be some kids out here. And she said, you want me to call the police? And I said, yeah, it might be a good idea because after all, I saw them messing with electricity, and I thought that one of them might get hurt. She said, hang on, and she clicked over to the other line. And then she came back and she said, all right, I called the police. They're on their way. Well, about that time, because we lived in town, we lived on the edge of town, I see the police, and they parked in front. I think it was 2 cars, maybe 3. I can't remember for sure. Parked in front of this power plant, and I saw them get out of their cars. I saw the 2 people up on this ledge up there in the air. I could see them start looking at them. Well, I talked to her. I said, well, I think they see them because they're shining their lights everywhere. She said, they want to know exactly where they are. And I said, oh my gosh, I see them. I see them standing right above them, right there. They're just right there. Hang on a minute. And so anyway, I'm watching the police shine their lights, and I see them shine the beam of light right where they're at. She said, there's nothing for them to stand on. It's midair. I said, what are you talking about? She said, they said there's no way there's anybody standing up there because it's in the midair. And I'm still seeing these 2 people. She said, there's nothing for them to stand on, and on top of that, there is no electricity hooked up to this power plant. And at this point, I'm scared because I realize I'm seeing something that the police aren't seeing yet. I could see the police, I could see the cars, and I could see these people just as plain as day, and they can't see anything. And they're telling me there's nothing for them to walk on, and there's no electricity hooked up. I don't know what to think. So I tell her, just tell them I'm seeing things. Never mind. I didn't want to look anymore, and I didn't. I ran into my bedroom, and because, like I said, I believe in a higher power, I began to pray because it scared me so bad. I never saw them again. But the next day, because I just didn't believe that there was nothing they could be walking on, I thought the police just missed it. They just didn't see them for some strange reason. I got in my car and drove around there, and sure enough, there was nothing there but midair.
I wish back then, like, you had like a video thing and you could have like recorded that.
I probably would have burned it because it scared me so bad.
It's so hard to process that. Like, it is so crazy.
You know, were they aliens? What were they? I don't know.
Did you wake Dad up and tell Dad?
No. I was scared to talk about it.
Whenever that happened, had there been weird things that already happened in the house?
Oh, yeah. I know some of you aren't going to believe me. That's fine. It's not going to destroy my life. I'm just telling you what I saw. I will say that I found out that a man, when the power plant did open, that right in that very spot, one of their electricians was up in one of the baskets, you know, on one of their electrical trucks with the, you know, extensions. And the extension and the basket started shaking really bad, and the man liked to have fallen to his death, but he didn't.
That story, like when she told me that when I was a kid, it sent chills through my spine. It scared me pretty much my whole life. I've known about it for as long as I can remember. When I got older, I started asking more questions, like, what did you think? What did you do? What about this? What about that? Because it's such a crazy story, but, you know, as I was telling my mom about how crazy it was and how I was scared if you guys would receive that, she reminded me that one of my first paranormal videos I was telling you guys about, you know, these 2 boys that I saw that weren't really there. And I've told you guys some really crazy stories, and you believed me, which I appreciate. I have had people accuse me of lying, and I expect that. When I talk about these things, I understand. And I've mentioned this a lot too. Mark, my boyfriend, he has never had a paranormal experience, and so for him, stories like that, he cannot swallow it. He knows that my mom is not a liar. He knows that I am not a liar, but it's really hard to process when you're somebody who has not had an experience. But for any of you that have had some really crazy experiences, you know that that is not so far stretched. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope it didn't scare you too bad. You should know better than to watch my paranormal experiences before bed. Don't ever do that. I've seen so many people comment and say they were about to go to bed and they watched my videos and then they're like, I can't sleep now. So thank you guys so much for watching this and spending some time with us and listening to my mom's story. And check back because I'm going to have another one uploaded later this week where she's going to tell some more of her experiences. And yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video.
Yeah, the power plant at the time of this incident, though, hadn't opened yet, and so the power wasn't even connected. A loud car.
That's so rude. I swear, every time I'm filming videos, like...